Good evening. We'd like to begin our May meeting with the pledge to the flag, please. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, everyone's had a chance to look over the minutes and operating statements for the last month. We'll entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion that we approve the April operating statements, the April 22nd, 2024 council meeting minutes, the April 22nd, 2024 public hearing minutes, May 13th, 2024 work session minutes, and Quantum's financial statements for April 2024.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor, ayes?
Aye.
Noes. Motion's carried. Okay, under mayor's report, mine's short this month. I'm not going to take up a lot of time. Just remind everybody that May the 30th, 31st, and June the 1st is Union Bridge Carnival. And as far as I know, the VFW is going to have their Memorial Day service in front of the VFW on May the 27th, which is on a Monday at 6 p.m. And last Monday, I spent with the county. We took the county tour for stormwater management ponds and stuff that's been the projects in the past year. If anybody is bored with what you want to do one evening, here's a report of all the ponds. Here's a report. It's very interesting to see how much these ponds cost. And Brett knows they're very expensive, and thank goodness all the towns went with the county years ago on this project because there's not a town around could afford to do this on their own. The county took care of getting all the grants and putting everything out there for it and all the inspections. So this is a report of this past year's. That's some of these ponds have been well over $2.5 million, and so it is very important that ours didn't cost near that much, but then they maintain them, they inspect them, so it does. We have to do some mowing around them, but that is nothing compared to what it costs to put those ponds in. So just anybody that wants to look over that, and just look over it and leave a copy in the office. And then the rest of my report, all the other stuff I've got on the list to give to Dawn. I'm not going to bore everybody with all the meetings and stuff that I go through every month. We'll come down to Mandy.
I have no new business this month.
Shriner Court, but I'm going to have Laura bring that up because she's the liaison there.
Let me do it now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we have a proposed budget for Shriner Court for the fiscal year 2024-2025, and it is for expenditures and revenues of $160,769. So I make a motion that we accept Shriner Court fiscal year 2024-2025 budget for expenditures and revenues in the amount of $160,769.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Noes, motion's carried. Thank you. Okay, now, Mandy, you say you had no report for
I
us?
have no report
Okay.
this month. First time in a while.
Well, that's
Next
good.
month it'll be different.
That's right. Yes, it will be. Yes. Be very different. And Kevin is on vacation tonight, so I don't think we have his report. He said that he would do it and have a big report for next month because it's only just been a couple of weeks. So, just for anybody who knows, this afternoon we did have deputies in town because had a child that was supposed to be a runaway, but the deputies were in town looking for him. He went back home. If they get hungry, they always go home. It's just a shame you have to use all your resources run for a kid that just wants to get away for a while, but it happens. Public comments and concerns. The rec council's busy.
We'd just like to let you all know that we just recently awarded, we haven't awarded yet, but we've decided on 4 scholarship recipients for our seniors within the rec council this year. Can't let you know who they are because it's still a surprise to them. So we gave out 3 $1,000 scholarships and one $1,500 scholarship this year. All 4 are seniors at local high schools. All 4 very active in the community, a lot of community service hours amongst them, and excellent grades, GPAs, skyrocketing all.
That is great. Well, thank you very much. I've been telling some that, like we were talking the other week, we get a lot of kids come in, like right before graduation, wanting community service hours and things, and, they get it in the 5th grade. And I try to tell them, the more community service hours you have really helps when you get ready to go to college. So, I try to stress it to the kids that ask me about it rather than wait until the last minute. They got 5 years, they can get in here and really get some points added up. I mean, when the MML did some scholarships through the MML last year or something, we had, I think it was Hampstead or Manchester, one of those kids had a lot of hours built up, after, even above and beyond. So it helps when you go to get those scholarships, so.
Yeah, I think we had one student this year that was over 700 hours.
Yeah. And it's not hard to do. If you go every year, you just put in some hours. They can come to the fire hall, we can put them to work, because I'll tell you, these last few months over there, September, October, November, December, January, and up through this month has been almost 3 weekends out of a month we spend in that fire hall doing activities, and it gets tiresome after a while, and we can always use new blood that wants to come in and help, A lot of these kids, we got some juniors now that are coming in and helping, but it gets tiresome after a while, you're in there every weekend, Friday or Saturday or Sunday. And it's just like your rec council kids, so congratulations and thank you. Ackerson? Yeah, it's quiet at my end. Okay, committee reports. We'll start over on this side with Sherry.
Well, all I have is the one light on West Broadway that this will be the 3rd attempt to try to get it fixed, so I don't know if they've gotten out there yet or not, because I haven't been out there since it's been dark. And everything else has been going good, so I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I think Potomac Edison has still been pretty busy around the county with.
Right, I think, yeah, so that's not like a top priority.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know if you all have noticed, but we've been painting the town up with ducks, getting ready for the Duck Derby, which is June 1st out at the walking trail. So we've got storefronts, we're trying to get signage in every business, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun this year. We've got over 27 vendors so far, so
Good.
I think we're going to have 100 Jeeps, so.
Okay. Ellen?
I've given some after-hours tickets and extended parking tickets, trailer parking tickets, and I've been working on putting together the information to get a railing in up at the community center from the steps coming down from the front door.
Okay. All right. Brett?
The only thing I really have is, I see at the workshop, you voted to award the valve bolt replacement to J. Fletcher Creamer and Son. So that will hopefully get underway quickly. Because they have to be done by October, I think it is.
I think so, yeah.
It's October. Yeah, so, you see, Mr. Vaccaro has declined to buy the old body shop building, that's a shame.
Yeah.
I had heard, I was talking to a fellow today that thought the fellow that has the car place out there on the corner might be interested.
Well, I haven't talked to John about that, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, it's hearsay. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so, you know how that is.
Yeah.
I mean, he might need a little more space, and
Well, he could probably use it, because there's about 30-some cars out in there right now that's usually,
yeah,
I guess you get more space, you need more help, and that's the problem.
yeah, yeah, and see, we have some interest in some people making brass casings and projectiles out there.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we can make that happen. We don't want to turn down any business.
I'd asked Mike Reynolds to check and sent him an email. My only thing I wanted to make sure that if the brass casings and everything, you know, if those things had to be pretty clean, the materials that they were using to wash with would go into a self-contained something rather than into our sewer. And then Mike was gonna check on that. You know, and, you know, washing down those metals and stuff, you know,
Yeah,
with,
I would imagine they'd have to have an industrial discharge.
but just to make sure that they follow all the rules on that, yeah.
Yeah, and I think I really like to talk about a little bit is this change to the election procedures, and why are we doing that? I mean, do we really need to do that? I mean, we've done well, I think, with what we've done over the years, and we certainly don't want to make it more difficult for someone to run when we have enough trouble getting people to
We
run.
don't want to make it difficult, but everybody, not everybody, but a lot of the other towns and municipalities are having problems, and we just want to be ahead of the game.
What problems? I mean,
People running that aren't well, not just qualified, but aren't qualified as far as living status, and different things like that. It's, you know, when you go to the MML meetings, and the last several years, there's been a lot of people, I think council's fine, because you gotta learn somewhere. But they've had a lot of people over the last several years that have come in and run for mayor that have never ever been to a council meeting, and they come in because they're upset with something, and they get the position, and 50% of them never make it a full year. They quit, which is good. I mean, if that's the way, if that's the reason they're doing it. But and
so 50%, that's a real number? I mean, you can
it's
look that up
probably, you
somewhere?
can probably, yes. I mean, you go and you
It
look
sounds
at,
quite high, but.
you look at some of these people down there, and it's, you know, they come in, they have no idea what's going on. And they, you know, it's, I don't have a problem if anybody wants to run for any office, but they ought to be coming to the meetings, at least know what a meeting's all about, you know, so that they know how to conduct a meeting and things like that. But we have a lot of people, well, I won't say we do, we have had people that come down here and wanted to run for office and have never been to a meeting here. And they, you know, you thought if they were interested, they would even, if they didn't win or something, they'd at least come back to a meeting to find out what's going on so that they could be interested. But it's a, you know, it's, when you look at the different towns right in Carroll County that have had the problem in the last 3 or 4 years, it is coming our way, and one of these days, we're gonna have a development, I hope. And, you know, I think it's a good thing that we just cover ourselves while we can, you know, because I think there's, you know, and we've had a lot of discussion on this. Anybody who wants to run for council should come to council meetings and know, you know, what's going on. You know, this is where they find out what's going on rather than sitting in a restaurant or a flood zone or something and they're saying, well, this is that and this is that, because it's secondhanded. They should come to a council meeting and know what's going on at the council.
I don't disagree.
You know.
I don't. I know that when I ran the first time, I'd never been to a council meeting. And when I was elected, I was sorely lacking in any experience or skill. I mean, I just did. I was doing body work
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah,
They
and-
put me in charge of water and sewer. I didn't know anything about
Yeah.
water and sewer at the time.
But, I mean, and that's, you know, then compared to today with all the other crap that goes on, I mean, I think it was a lot involved when we first got on, but today's world, there's a lot more involved. It puts stress on not just our clerk treasurer, it puts stress on our water and sewer guy, and puts on our maintenance people, because they come in and they start calling, they want to call Steve, they want to call Mike, and they want to call Jeff, and, you know, and it's,
I mean, I would sooner say that you have to do a term on the council before you can run for mayor. That
But-
would make sense.
But they can't do that. That was brought up at MML, and it was told, I mean, the gentleman told me that, their attorney down there that does all their legal stuff said he would love for that to happen because it would eliminate a lot of problems. But he says he thinks that would be a great idea, but legally they cannot do that.
Okay.
And then the other part was to save the town money if we
And if there's no
don't have,
opposition,
if we have an
yeah.
uncontested election,
Uncontested.
why have an election? Why spend the money on everything?
Well, we could do that without doing
Yeah.
the other
Yeah.
things. I don't know. I don't like the nomination from the floor. I think it's just unnecessary.
Well,
And I don't know, can we constitutionally prevent write-ins?
Yes.
Yes.
We can.
Yes.
I disagree with that, too. Write-ins have only, once, I think, in the 40 years I've been around.
We've had write-ins twice that won.
Was it twice?
Yes, we had, back when Richard Stoltz was mayor, Ed Willier won against Richard in 74
Okay, well,
as a write-in.
that was before me.
And
I was a child.
and after you was on the council, we had we had
Yeah,
write-ins
I
that
remember
won.
that one, yeah. But,
But then again,
But if you really
we had
wanna
write-ins
run-
that year, we had a lady that won that never been to a council meeting. And she won.
yeah.
And if you really want to be the council person, wouldn't you think you'd have enough understanding to come in and put in your nomination?
You would think, but I just don't know. What if you get somebody who might make a good council person, and they say, I ain't going through all that trouble. Why can't I just go in and fill out the form like we used to do? I just don't know that we need to make it harder.
That's just my opinion. If a person is interested, they need to come to the meeting. And Sykesville's done it for years, that you get nominated from the floor and you have to accept the nomination. It's them to come to a meeting and have a friend or wife or somebody in the audience to say, I nominate, Perry Jones for mayor or council seat or whatever. And it's as easy as that. And you accept.
I'd be happy to continue this conversation at our next work session, because that's where it started last
Yeah.
week.
And I know Mandy's, she's writing up some things for us that probably for our next meeting or something we'll try to have, but.
And I'm happy to attend the next work session meeting if that is helpful to discuss any
Yeah.
legal ramifications from any of this.
It's okay. I'm, okay,
When is that date? June 10th?
I just have some reservations
Yeah.
about the need to even do anything.
Now, you do realize this is for the new people coming in, the people that are already a council person or mayor do not have to be nominated from the floor.
I disagree with that. If you're, it should be the same. It should be the same. If you're gonna run again, you should be nominated. I don't see how that's different.
Well, and we discussed that at our last workshop, and I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with every election, every person, whoever's running, being nominated from the floor. I think, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, well, I would think if you're gonna do that, then we're not special, so
Yeah.
we should have to do that as well.
I mean,
But yeah, I agree with Laura, we can talk about
Yeah,
it.
I'm on a lot of different committees and things with everywhere, and a lot of them, everybody, when you're reelected, is nominated. And it's mostly from the floor, you have to accept it, say that, you just can't, have somebody, you're not even there and somebody nominates you, and next thing you know, you're on the ballot, but you have to accept that nomination. But we'll discuss it again at our next workshop, June 10th.
Okay.
All right, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, Laura.
All right. I received an email from a resident regarding the mowing of the Donald D. Wilson walking trail. I responded to the email, and then I also spoke with Donald Wilson regarding the mowing, and I think I got an email from him, and I forwarded it to the resident. I had a scheduled meeting at Shriner Court last Monday, May 13th, with residents, but no one showed up. I spoke to a few residents outside, and they're very pleased with Joy, the new property manager, and they have no complaints. Two residents say that they have ant issues, which I requested they speak to Joy about, and I also messaged Joy just to give her a heads up. I made a basket for the Union Bridge Fire Company's silent auction, so make sure you support them next week and look for our basket of goodies. I spoke with Joy Bowman, the property manager at Shriner Court, regarding a few issues. She stated that the residence handbook is outdated and needs to be updated, and she sent me a copy of the current handbook. I worked on the letters for the Elmer Wolf's If I Were Mayor essay winner. I'm not going to announce her name because she will be getting her letter tomorrow. And we are having our first free snow cone event of the year on Tuesday, June 11th, which is the last day of school from 12 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the square. And that's just my abbreviated version.
All right, thank you. Amy?
I don't have much to report, except for the Planning and Zoning Commission is continuing to go over the 2024 Town Plan Review. It's quite the process.
Oh, yes. And I did forget to report that we do have a gentleman in town, Tony Bowman, that has agreed to write articles and put in the newspaper. We'll see if the Carroll County Times puts them in the paper like they said they would, so we'll see how that goes. Next couple of months should be kind of interesting to see. And I do have an email address for Tony because he said that's the easiest way to get hold of him rather than phone calling. So give him articles, and there's probably going to be some things that he writes and they probably won't put in the paper, or they'll edit it the way they want to do it, but we'll just see what happens. Anything's better than what we've had with some of the Times reporting, so we'll see how it works. I think it'll work out pretty good once everybody gets adjusted to it, and Tony gets acclimated and everybody knows how he can be contacted and stuff. Now, not every article that people are going to send him is going to be in there, because we're going to try to, he's going to work on articles that is good for the town and stuff, instead of just everybody that used to write articles in the paper anonymously complaining about the town and things like that. If you're going to send him something, make sure you got your name and your organization wrote name on it. So, the Carroll County, they say that they're not going to do a lot of those anonymous things anymore. People's going to have to sign their names to them if they want to put in there, and I think that's great. So, all right. I don't have anything else. You have anything for us, Dawn?
No.
Okay. Our next work session is on June the 10th, and then our next council meeting is June the 17th, which is a week early, because the week after that, we'll be going to the conference in Ocean City, and we'll see what we can learn down there this year. Is there any further business? Hearing none, we're in line for adjournment.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Those, thank you very much, and we'll see you next month.